So let's now integrate the switch case to make this program as a menu driven program. And in order to build this program as a menu driven program, we have to use a scanner. So we will create object of a scanner first and simply pass system dot in. Then we are going to ask user what exactly the requirement of user is, like whether user wants to add a new element, update, delete, print, search, sort, or user can also find out min element, max element. Will be giving a lot of options to user. So I will use a while loop so that user will continuously input his choice. So first of all, I'll print here, enter your choice. Then start printing. One for insert a new element, then print. Two, print. Then three. On third, you can push search. On fourth, you can write update. Fifth, we have delete. All right, so these are the 5 operations that I have written. Now later on, we'll perform few more operation. Like if you want, you can add one more operation right now, like exit. And then finally, here it is written, enter your choice. So enter your choice will be written at the end here. So now we are going to take input. So we will write int choice is equals to scanner dot extend and then check what exactly the choice is. So we will use a switch, pass choice in it, and then use cases. So I will write here case 1. So now we need object of the class we already have. So I will call here obj dot insert. All right. So now in insert, we have 2 arguments to pass. One is the index and second one is the element. You can even take input like what is the element that user wants to insert, and accordingly you can call this. Okay, even I can take input here. Int element is equals to scanner dot next int and pass element here. All right, but the thing is, we also have to increment the index variable because index should be maintained accordingly. But now I'm just passing hard coded the element value only. Like on 0 index, I want to insert this. So I will insert 5 elements. And you can do one more thing. You can ask user how many elements you want to insert. 1, 2, 3. Accordingly, we will use a for loop here and insert the elements. So on 0 index, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we are going to put here 20, 30, 40, and 50. So this is going to be our insert operation. And at the end, write a break statement. Then case 2. Case 2 will be our print. So I will simply call obj.print and then break. Then case 3. The case 3 will be to search. So you can ask user, what do you want to search? I am directly calling here search. I just want to search if 15 is available or not. And then break. Then case 4, obj dot. Let me check what is the case number 4. That is update. Okay, so obj dot update. So I just want to update 10 with 100. Then break. Then case 5. In case 5, we have to call delete. I want to delete the element on second index. Break. Then case number 6. On 6, we have written quit. So in order to quit, you can simply return right here, return that I just want to return from here. All right. And at the end, you can pass a default case. In default, you can just write invalid choice. So this is the switch case that we have created for our CRUD operations. All right. And at the end of the program, you can close the scanner. So now you can try to execute this program. So now it is asking you the choice here. Enter your choice. So let's say my choice is to insert element first. So it has inserted few element. Now let's print. So it has printed all the elements here. And now I want to exit. Okay. So this is the CRUD operation that we have performed now. So first of all, let's simply talk about array versus array list. All right. So let's say when we talk about arrays in Java, then this is how you simply define an array, that it is going to be taking 5 elements only. Otherwise, what I can do is I can directly store 5 elements, 6 elements, and number of elements at once according to the requirement. So this is how we simply create one array. Now, what if I have to add more elements into this array? I have to create the dynamic array. So we don't have any such options to create the dynamic array because it is static array. That is a static memory allocation. We want a dynamic memory allocation kind of a thing. So that's why we have something known as array list that is coming from java.util. Now, array list is one of the class in Java that you are going to create object of. And let me just create the object of array list. And now I'm going to simply create object of it. It is giving you option if you want to initialize the initial capacity. That's not the final or something. Initial capacity you can set like initial capacity like 5, 6 something, and then it will calculate the next capacity accordingly. So first of all, it's an empty list. There is no predefined size. You can directly start adding the elements into your array list like this. Okay. And you can add n number of elements in your array list. Now, if I have to retrieve an element from array list, I will simply write get, and accordingly, I'll get the data from that particular index of whatever index you are going to pass. So this array list is actually a class that you're going to create object of. It is going to implement a lot of things. It extends the abstract list, implements up list interface. List interface implements extend the collection interface. It will extend the iterable interface. So this is how this complete hierarchy is given to you in Java collections. All right. So this is the array list versus array. Now there is one more thing we can do, that if array list or array is given to you, how you're going to iterate both of them. See, one kind of iteration is something like this, that you execute a loop till the length of array, something like this. This is how we iterate over an array. Okay. But now you have another style of iterating over the array as well. Int e colon array, and then you will print the e variable. So that will return you the element. So there are two different ways to iterate over your array. These two are applicable with array list as well. Let's say you have array list int I equals to 0, I less than list dot. So this time there is a method known as size that will return you the size of your array list. And this is how we are going to retrieve the elements from array list. All right. So this is the strategy to get the element from the array list. Or you can directly iterate. You can even directly iterate over this. So you can write int I colon, and the name of our list is list, and then simply write here e variable. So you can iterate over array list as well. But there is one more way to iterate over your array list, and that is list dot for each. So for each is one method that you can simply use to iterate over the array list as well. So let me write here that we have one argument, let's say a, and I just want to print this element a. So what this a element will contain, it is just like this loop. All right. So internally, these lambda expressions, what they are going to do, it is simply going to iterate over your array list, and a is like a variable like you have here, and then it is going to print whatever the element, whatever the value of array list is. So array list contains 34, 40, and 10. So in a variable, I'll get first I will get 34, then 40, and then 10. So using for each, we can use array list as well. We can print the data of array list. Okay, so these are the different ways to use or iterate over the array list.